What are your 3 actions? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live, where we talk about all the strategies, tactics, and principles that you need to be able to explode your business. I wanted to talk about 3 things. This was something that came to me today, is that I've never developed a way to easily describe in a quick way what it is that I do with businesses. Businesses that I invest in, businesses that I partner up with, what is it that I actually do? And what if I could encapsulate it all into 3 ideas, 3 actions that I take part in? And I want you to try this for your own business. So if you're a business owner, if you're an executive, you're one of the people that are in charge, can you break down what it is you do for your ideal client, customer, so forth? Can you break it down to 3 things or 3 areas that you cover, or something specific in terms of an outcome? I don't know if I'll stick with these or promote them or anything like that, but this was kind of what I came up with. So there's 3 actions, there's 3 things. And the first thing that I take everybody through is a process that the easiest way to explain it would be to call it strategic order. And I please don't try not to judge me too much for my horrible second grade handwriting, but it's all about strategic order. I go in, that typical situation with a business is I go in and we sit down and we just start at the very beginning. We look at where they are, where they want to be, how soon they want to get there. What's the ideal situation? And we start creating strategic order. We do this through a process that I call the Worthington Method. So this is something that I came up with. I'm just going to say WM here. Worthington Method is really the beginning of all of this, and it's the process that I take companies through. You can go and check out my other videos that have to do with the Worthington Method. In the future, I'm hoping to have some examples up here of people that I've taken through that process. But strategic order is all about setting up and saying, okay, what do we need to do and when? I was talking with a banker, not a specific banker, but we say banker, we picture a guy in a suit with a mustache and a top hat, and these cartoony concepts that we have in our heads. But a person in the banking industry that is working in a growing bank. They have multiple locations. This is on the East Coast of the United States. And we were sitting down. He is one of the main executives in charge. And we were saying, what are the main issues you're facing? We were just kind of giving having an initial conversation over some of these things, because one of the people that I work with was helping him out with some other items. And we said, just in general, what are the strategic concerns that you have? And he said, we know everything we need to do, but we don't know the order in which to do them. And that, like, ding, that hit me. I wrote it down immediately, and I said, that is encapsulating what so many business owners have an issue with, is they know what to do, they just don't know what order to do them in. They've got a million things in their plate, but they don't know where to start. And so what ends up happening is either a million people working on a million different things, or nothing really ever getting accomplished because that strategic order is not developed. So strategic order is just a plan, a step-by-step plan. We do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. That's what strategic order is. The second thing that I come into after we kind of set the lines for that, and that always changes, okay, don't get me wrong, is that you don't just put a strategic order in place and that's, hey, from that point on, 100 years into the future, that company's going strong. No, strategic order is always being reviewed and being reorganized and changed, because sometimes something as large as the company goal itself changes. So when something like that happens, you can't just keep doing things in the same order that you were doing to get a different result. Hopefully that makes sense. The second part that we work with in terms of an action, and it's really in this order, it comes down to really developing relevant focus. Okay, relevant focus. That's the next step. And I know a lot of this is driving you guys nuts because I got the lines going in the wrong direction. Hey, just hang in there with me. Okay, relevant focus is really one of the major game changers, and it's one of those things that is not it's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it also comes with the fact that you don't know what order to do things in, and that when you start figuring out what order to do things in, or you at least determine initially what order to do things in, then you got to sit back and go, okay, who's doing what? Who's focused on what thing when? Relevant focus, it's not just about one person ultra focusing on doing one thing. What it's about is that each part of the organism is doing what they're needing to do to achieve whatever that next step is in the process of the order. So the strategic order that you've put together, now you got to make sure that everyone is doing what they need to do to move that forward. And it's relevant depending on who the person is and whether they've gotten done with the last thing that needs to get done. So that's what relevant focus has to be. Focus is the thing that's always lacking, but it's usually lacking because there's no order. Once you have order, then you need focus. So we go from strategic order to relevant focus, and the final step, the final end game, and it really it determines whether what I've done it can at all be considered successful. And it's the final one. It's a much more broad-based concept, but it's a mythic impact. We go from strategic order to relevant focus to achieve mythic impact. And mythic impact is that idea of legendary results in your space. Getting somewhere that you didn't see yourself getting in a shorter period of time than you would have hoped to have gotten there originally. That's what it's mythic in your own mind. It's mythic in the mind of the business owner or executive that's deciding the direction of where to go. And if you can achieve mythic impact, that's exciting. That's something different. That's changing everything. We're not just going in and improving a business. We're exploding a business from the inside out. That's one of my most favorite things to do, is creating an absolute business explosion with a business that's already successful, that already has movement, that's already going places. But we go in and we can, it's not just a tweak, it's a huge, massive change that's revolutionary to the whole system. That's what I love doing. Mythic impact. If you could come up with 3 actions that your business, your organization, you as a person can explain what it is that you do, if you can put that out there and be able to make a quick 10-minute video for people, you've got something. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I have other ways of that. I've explained these concepts to people in longer period of time. One of them is my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. It's still a very short book. You can get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com, amazonproofbook.com. Those of you watching can see it on the screen. If you're just listening, just write it down as it sounds, amazonproofbook.com, for a very free copy of 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You could always buy a hardbound version over at Amazon. That's all I got for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.